Hey all, it's Charlie here, and I am so excited to be sitting down with the NAM-based absolute powerhouse, Meghna. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
Yes. Could you start us off by introducing yourself and your sound for us, just in case anyone's watching and has never heard of you before and is about to become your biggest fan?
Oh, I love it. My name is Meghna, and I make alternative electronic pop music with a hip hop backbone, I'd say, about social justice issues and the human condition. So if you're into that, and if you're into sort of those Club Berlin inspired tunes as well, while listening to deeper content, yeah, that's sort of my music or what I aim to put out.
Amazing. I love it so much. And speaking of music you're putting out, your latest single, Road Rage, oh my gosh, what a song. I have it on repeat. I'm sure people who are listening literally pause this, go put the song on repeat, give the listen like 5 times, then come back because I love it so much. Everyone is going to love it. Can you tell us a bit more about Road Rage?
Yeah, I think the song it's been a long time coming. I wrote it probably in 2023. But it sort of initially was what I observed in people's behavior and in my own behavior on the road as a driver. It's I feel like generally I'm quite a calm person with a calm demeanor, but when I'm on the
Mm.
road and someone cuts me off, it's like you transform into a different animal. It sometimes it makes you so angry. I don't know, things that happen on the road. So I wrote the song as like a cautionary tale about how anger can sort of uh, bring out this monster in you, and maybe you're not necessarily that's not your defining quality or feature, and that's what makes it all the more shocking is that you have this, angry monster tucked away in you, and it can suddenly come out at any time, especially when you don't have much control over your anger. I think it's one of the emotions, yeah, it's really hard to suppress. So yeah, and I've seen, full on fights break out on the road, like fist fights, and it's just sort of a cautionary tale about not letting anger trap you, using anger for productive things rather than, letting it shackle you. So yeah, I wanted to just write a song about exploring that and like, why do I become so angry type of situation.
Yeah, I love that. That is like the most nice thing anyone's ever said about those feelings of like anger.
I'm glad.
Oh, I am a raging Aries, so I am known to be like very angry all the time. It just takes like the little click and I'm there. I'm 100% in the worst mood. I love every song then that channels a bit of rage, a bit of strong emotions. How does it feel to be channeling this side of yourself? As you said, it's not you. It's not you normally. But how does it feel to channel this side into your music?
Yeah, it's definitely interesting tapping into this side when it's not sort of what I'm presenting on a daily basis to my friends and to my colleagues and sort of in a professional space. So it'll be interesting for it to come out and people to be like, "Oh, Magna, like, why are you so angry? Like, I didn't know you had all these feelings." But honestly, it was really liberating tapping into this, and anger shouldn't be, we should destigmatize all these emotions because anger is like an inherent emotion to feel as a human. So I think, yeah, it was definitely interesting. I just wanted the messaging to be right and not to be like condoning sort of violent actions, but rather just sort of exploring it generally as an emotion. But yeah, it was interesting to say the least because it's not who I am on a daily basis, but it's definitely a huge part of my identity is that uncontrollable rage. I think as a person of color as well and a woman, that in our community we do have a lot of suppressed rage. So yeah, it was interesting, but we'll see what people think.
Well, absolutely. And I think one of the things that draws me to this song the most, other than the fact that I get to like have a little cathartic anger release with it, is the fact that it's such a sonically cool song. It's like a combination of like hyperpop, EDM, and hip hop, things you don't traditionally sit down and go, yes, this is going to be a blend that everyone's going to love. But it is, and it is so good. I would love to ask if you had any like musical influences or inspirations really driving this track.
Yeah. Definitely, I would say, yeah, so many different influences from different genres, and I think a big influence for me is Audrey Nuna. Audrey Nuna, who just announced she's coming on the 12th of August, and I bought like pre-sale tickets straight away. Little plug there, but yeah, she's a big inspiration for me because she makes that kind of alternative hip hop, and it's a bit offbeat. It's a bit, it's a bit introspective in a way, but also at the same time, it's not like necessarily, yeah, it sounds quite unique. So her like sound was a big influence for me, and also we've got Coaches as well that makes sort of hip hop songs. I think one of the songs that really inspired this track was there's this Turkish artist. I'm not sure if I'm gonna butcher the pronunciation. I'm just gonna say the name of the song because I don't think I'll be able to pronounce her name. It's called Darbuka, and it was just sort of like that sonic world she was creating. I'm like, wow, it's really interesting. It sounds a bit hip hop. It sounds a bit hyper pop. I really recommend that song. But yeah, I think I just grab my influences from everywhere, like subconsciously and consciously at the same time. So I don't know what happened. It's just like I'm in a sort of fugue state as I'm writing this song, and but those are the ones that come to mind.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I always love seeing like what led to the final product. Because sometimes, like, when artists make a playlist behind the song, they're like, oh, this is what inspired the song or the album. If you love the song, you're gonna love the influence tracks. So
Yeah,
that's so special.
it is.
Yes. And speaking of road rage, you have an absolutely phenomenal music video that pairs with this song. It's dark and gritty at moments. It's described as a surreal nightmare. I don't want to say too much in case people watching haven't given it a watch yet, but I am obsessed with this video. I love it so much. What was it like putting this video together?
Oh, first of all, thank you so much. That's so sweet. It was an interesting process for sure. I worked with the team at Park Avenue. They're amazing directors and videographers on the up and up. But I spoke to them and I said I want something that's a little bit. We wanted to go for something that's a little bit more abstract, rather than just, yeah, sort of speaking about this broader theme of anger and how it can, yeah, I don't want to like spoil it as well actually, now that I would have just spoiled it if you didn't give me that warning before. Yeah, but yeah, we wanted something a little bit abstract. We wanted to tap into maybe a couple of different versions of myself and try and like encapsulate that visually. So we just sort of thought about what's the way we can do this without making it too on the nose. And yeah, we just came up with that idea of I don't know if I could say this, yeah, like a bad, the devil and angel concept, and it's a timeless concept as well, and it's so relevant to, I think, the whole EP that I'm working on, the fact that humans are multifaceted. So it was really cool to just explore, acting, and I'm an actor as well, so I love like acting bad and acting good and all that. So it was really fun process. We did it over two and a bit days, and yeah, I just had the best time.
Honestly, that really comes through when watching the video. Like, I can see that you were having so much fun whilst filming it, and that makes me have fun watching it.
Oh, I'm glad.
Yes, I absolutely love it. And as you mentioned there, Road Rage is a taste of your upcoming EP, A World Full of Idiots. Can I just start off by asking, what's behind this title? Because it is so catchy. I'm not going to forget this one. I'm going to give it a listen as soon as it comes out.
Oh,
What inspired A World Full of Idiots?
well, yeah. I think it just comes down to that sort of, feeling we feel. Sorry, to for lack of a better way of saying it, that when we're really angry, we feel like we're the only sane ones in the world. I think a lot of the time we're like, why is this person doing this? And why we're always putting the onus or the blame on someone else, and we're always getting angry at someone else most of the time. We could be angry at ourselves too, but in this EP is more of like external stimuli rage. So yeah, oftentimes, to be completely transparent and honest, when I let my anger get the better of me, I'm sort of like, oh, everyone's an idiot, and it's totally the wrong thing because, yeah, you cannot make generalizations. And like you're
Mm,
the idiot for behaving that way, and like you can't blame everyone else. But it was
mm,
just sort of came down to that feeling of when I'm angry, I feel like I want to blame everyone else, and it's a world full of idiots. And at Hesslich, the track, my track that came out a little bit before
mm,
on the 30th, explored sort of being underestimated and the rage that comes with that, and being disrespected as a woman of color. And then Road Rage is about, yeah, obviously, this impulsive rage that takes over you, because
mm.
of, some driver like cuts you off or flips you off or something. So it's just about like, okay, you're putting the blame on everyone else, and it's sort of like tongue in cheek because it's the wrong
Mm.
thing to do, but it's just kind of
Yeah.
like ties the song, the thematic aspects of the song quite well together. And yeah, I think it's a catchy title that hopefully people will be like, oh my gosh, like, what is this? Why is she calling these people idiots? Like, I want to listen and find out. So yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Sometimes you see a title and it like burns into your brain. You're like, that this is going to be something I have to listen to. And this is one of those. So I absolutely am
It
obsessed.
worked! Yay! Clickbait! Love it.
Yeah, and as I said, I'm so excited to listen to this EP. Could you tell us a little bit about what we could expect?
Absolutely. We've got 6 tracks on the EP, all about a different sort of facet or exploration of rage. So we've obviously got Road Rage and Hässlich, and then we've
Mm,
got 2 new tracks on the EP. And one of them, I won't go too much into it, but one of them was a song I wrote when I was 14, and I've since remastered it, remaked it, and gutted the song, and I'm really excited for it to be finally out because it was probably one of the first songs I'd ever written and recorded when I was in high school. Um, and yeah, we've got 2 songs as well that are also about advocating for non-violence and exploring
mm,
anger in the EP. So the EP is just more about exploration of different forms of rage and just how it affects the person, and yeah, how it affects our demeanor and our behavior. But also, I feel like at the end, once you listen to the whole EP, it's sort of like it's okay to feel these feelings. It's okay to feel rage. Don't feel ashamed of your feelings because it only makes things worse. But also don't take it out on someone else, or just learn to be productive. And that's what I just keep beating to death, is that like be productive with your anger and your rage, because I definitely do not want to be advocating for people to go bash someone or something like that.
mm.
So yeah, that's the sort of common thread I think throughout the songs.
Yeah, absolutely. And on that note of like really advocating for non-violence and like another way to use those emotions and that anger, I really wanted to just talk about that for a second. I remember having a conversation with someone earlier this year who was saying, like, oh, a lot of pop music by female artists leans into a lot of like violence and like violent sort of things. Like Billie Eilish released an album called Hit Me Hard and Soft. Mallrat has the album Light Hit My Face Like a Straight Right. And like, I never realized this before, but it was in this conversation. You realize a lot of things that are discussing, like love and relationships and heartbreak and life, just everything that people are making songs about, always lean into a bit of like violence or a bit of like really heavy content.
Mm.
And you don't realize when you're listening to something until afterwards, you're like, wait, that's not a happy message. That's not a message you want a young person to listen to. It's not a message you want to broadcast necessarily to the world, but we're listening to it every day in all different types of music and media that we consume.
Mhm.
What was your kind of inspiration, and what does it mean to you to really be standing up for a non-violent aspect of this rage and really standing up and telling people how you can feel these emotions, and they're very valid emotions, but channel them into a different thing that'll be better for society?
That's a beautiful question, and yeah, I definitely agree. Like, there's lots of subliminal messaging, and these days, and it's so like fair, like speak your truth, but at the same time, we
Yeah.
don't want to be, you know, perpetuating these like negative messages, especially when it comes to women and
Mm,
like female empowerment and respect. And we don't want to be promoting these like negative relationships and where there's violence involved and all that, and sort of like this really heavy messaging. But for it was very important for me to I think there's only so much you can do, I think, lyrically in like a 2.5 minute, 3 minute song. But
Mm,
by the compilation of these songs together and sort of my messaging in my interviews and sort of in my public facing aspect is like I'm just trying to ensure that the messaging is that it's okay to feel these feelings, like you said, and
mm,
yeah, not to suppress them. I think as women, we do tend to suppress our emotions a lot for the greater good, which doesn't really make sense because we need to feel. Um, but yeah, it was really important that all the songs kind of weren't glamorizing, but uh, violence and anger, but were instead acting as sort of a warning or a cautionary tale that I
mm,
think the end of Road Rage, without spoiling it, ends with, you being shackled by your rage. It's like,
mm,
be careful, otherwise your rage will trap you. And then I think um, sort of Heslich has this kind of like dark, sad undertone to it at the end. So I tried to ensure that the songs flow into each other in such a way that it's not saying, yeah, let's punch someone, it's so cool, take our anger out on someone else, but instead just
mm.
more of like an abstract exploration of it and, of the feeling itself and the emotion itself rather than the action of punching someone, hitting someone. But yeah, I think it's really important that when we get to such touchy subjects such as this, where we could influence the youth and to do certain things, we just need to be really careful with how we're coming across. But also, you need to speak your truth, and you don't need to censor
Mm.
it for anyone. So it's just striking the balance between those two things as a musician. So I tried. We'll see.
That was said so beautifully. Thank you so much.
Oh no, thank you. I was like,
Yeah.
it's a good question.
Yeah, no, it's really a tricky thing, like obviously like, throughout all time, but especially if you look at like where we are today in the world politically, socially, you look what's happening in our local suburbs and in Australia, and then you look at what's happening overseas. It's a really scary place. And you really need to you need to triple look at every single thing you say in case one person's going to interpret it, like in a wrong way, because what your songs mean to you isn't necessarily what they're going to mean to everyone who listens to them. So it's really important to see so much thought being put into the messages you're conveying and the stories you're telling. And it's so refreshing to see. Thank you so much for putting that extra like level of thought into everything.
Oh, thank you. I'm just such a big overthinker, so I'm like, oh my god, what if this happens? What if this? It's the probably the law student in me that I have to like double check everything or triple check everything. But I appreciate that you that you're thanking me for that. Thank you.
Yes, no, I absolutely get it. When I saw you're a law student, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm also studying law at the moment. So that was just so fun.
That's so cool.
Yeah, how does it? I just want to ask, like, this is more personally than for anyone else, but if anyone else relates to this, that's great. Like, how does it feel to have that sort of creative outlet through your music? Because law is something that's very heavy and it takes like a lot of academic strain. It's a lot to digest. How does it feel to have this creative outlet through your music?
Yeah, well, you could answer this. I could ask you the same thing, but I think the music was always the main focus for me.
Mm,
I did a bit of like it's a bit of like a roundabout way of doing law, but I did law because I wanted to put my money where my mouth is because I was already writing songs about social justice issues and human
yeah.
rights. So I was like, I might as well, if I'm going to study anyway, I would like to get a qualification that will allow me to do some work uh, that I can actually assist in the issues I'm trying to spotlight in my music. So
Mm,
right now I'm working in refugee law. Um, it can be, I just graduated, so I'm having a nice little break now. But I can remember trying to balance both of them. The creative outlet it was honestly such a lifesaver because when I'm sure like when you're in the thick of exams and there's like a light at the end of the tunnel knowing that you're going to get back to your music or get back to your journalism or whatever
mm,
you're interested in. So it's good to have, I think, multiple things going on in your life just to make sure you're staying active and you're staying sane. I'm like, I just need to be doing something all the time, I think. So yeah,
yeah.
it's so lovely to have had the music guide me through the law and vice versa in some cases.
Yeah, absolutely. I get that. I do like a media degree and a law degree like at the same
Oh,
time.
oh my
And
gosh.
like it's a lot, but I love it because you walk out of like a criminal law class and you just heard like the worst case you've ever heard in your life. It's you
Yeah,
can't imagine people would do that. And then you get to sit down, you get to like unwind, you get to talk about like media and it's like everything's lighter now.
exactly. Oh my gosh, yeah. Law can be so heavy sometimes. They really
Yeah.
don't tell you because you have to do every subject, right? So
Mm.
yeah, you can walk out of criminal law, or you can walk out of something as boring as trust law. Like trust law,
Hmm.
I just really didn't like that. And you're like, oh, this is so boring. And then you get to like the creative side, and you're like, oh, this is like so lighthearted and fun, and shows a good side of humanity. So, yeah.
Oh, I love it so much. And on that note of like indulging in media and music, I would love to close off our chat today by having a little sneak peek into your playlist and hearing about the local acts in your local scene and in the broader Australian music scene that you've been listening to and loving and would love to give a shout out to.
Yes. Okay, this is such a good question. Um, I feel like there's lots. I really love they're not in Melbourne, but I've just honestly been like listening to them so much at the moment. Chor Bazaar. They're a sort of a South Asian collective. I think they're from Canberra originally, and I just was on a panel with one of the members, and yeah, I just was like so excited to meet them because I'm like constantly listening to their stuff, so I definitely recommend them. Um, so many artists. There's, I think, uh, Jessie Hillel or Jessie Hill. I think she goes by. Is a great South Asian artist. I love Robert Baxter. Love
Yeah.
Robert Baxter. So good. So exciting for Big Sound as well.
Mm.
And there's probably so many I could name, but they're just not coming to mind. But I would say those are the three. Oh, yeah, and I've really been listening to, yeah, I need to get back into, yeah, listening to sort of all the Triple J's Unearthed songs and like
Mm.
doing my reviews again. But yeah, there's some great stuff coming out. I'm really interested in Drifting Clouds. That song is a great song. So yeah, there's probably so many. Can't think, can't, I could probably have like a laundry list of them. So yeah,
Yes, thank you so much for sharing those pits. I always love asking this question because you get to discover new artists, like some you've never heard of before, some people like Robert Baxter, who we all love so much.
yeah.
And yeah, I'm so excited to give a listen to your other recommendations. Thank you for sharing.
Oh, no worries.
And thank you again for making the time to chat about all things road rage, your music video, and the upcoming EP. I'm so excited for everyone to get to indulge in them because they are amazing. Thank you for making the time to chat.
Thank you for having me. So lovely to meet you as well.